Hey there, Knicks fans. We are so excited to announce that Fanatics Fest is back in New York City this summer, taking over the Jacob Javits Center from Thursday, July 16th to Sunday, July 19th. You can meet your favorite athletes from every major league, including current Knicks like Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and Karl Anthony Towns, and the legend, my guy, Patrick Ewing. Catch live podcasts and panels featuring some of the biggest names in sports, while experiencing interactive activations from top leagues and brands. You could also grab exclusive merch and discover one-of-a-kind memorabilia from sports and entertainment, buy, sell, and trade collectibles with hundreds of top dealers, and best of all, connect with fans from around the world who share your passion for sports. Tickets are on sale now at fanaticsfest.com, and when you use that promo code KnicksFilm10 at checkout, you will get 10% off your purchase. How about that? It's an extra day of the world's #1 sports fan festival coming together under one roof, and you will not want to miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to KFS Weekly. I'm Shawn for W, and that is Mensa Smith. Mensa Smith, good morning. How are you?
I am doing better than I should be, considering the Knicks lost to my most hated team of all time, the Indiana Pacers, because my Patriots hate watch was successful over the weekend, and that is all I needed. The Patriots are now the team that has lost the most Super Bowls, and I don't care if my Jets haven't been to the Super Bowl since Ben Pimpin. I don't care about that at all. All I know is that the Patriots lost, and they're probably going to regress next year because they weren't that good in the first place, and that is going to carry me out throughout the week. How about you, Shawn?
I'm doing well. I made some money on the Super Bowl because I shot to my man Ali Camp, who were discussing before the game, and I was just like, and he was just like, I don't know how they're going to score, them being New England. And I said, you're right. So I bet Seahawks -5.5, Seahawks -10.5, and Seahawks -17.5, which was looking good until that garbage time touchdown late. I'm also feel good because I'm actually glad the Patriots didn't get shut out, because I want the Baltimore Ravens to hold the honor of being the only team to hold the offense scoreless. So even though I had bet live Pats under 3.5 points scored in the game, right in the second quarter, like, yo, I don't know how these dudes are going to score. But you bring up an interesting point, because this year, everything kind of fine for the Patriots. And next year, like, Mahomes will be back at what capacity, but he'll be back. Lamar Ravens should be better. The Bengals, you never know if the Bengals. But this was the easiest path the AFC has seen in a long time. And they did not take advantage. Although, again, the Pats didn't expect to be here with a second-year quarterback. This might be the best chance for Knicks to win a title, because next year the team we played last night that we lost to will play. We'll get Hallie back, Wolf Ivica Zubac, the Celtics Louis back. So this team got to take advantage of this opportunity, which is why, as annoyed as I am about last night's loss, I understand the goal is about wins in April, May, and June, not February and March. And they clearly, I think John encapsulated it perfectly on the post game yesterday, when that was a team yesterday that was like, all right, they've won 3 road games all year. If we play 80%, we should win. The Pacers came to play. They always all want to do against the New York Knicks, and we found ourselves in a dogfight, which we ultimately lost. So, c'est la vie. So yeah, that's how I'm doing. And with that, let's get into the recap of the week that was. First, let's start with how we did from a betting perspective. So this is last night. Best bets. Mensa, congrats to you. I tailed this bet, Landry Shamet, over the first quarter. Can you give us some insight about why you chose this specific bet?
Well, I didn't. It had nothing to do with whether or not he was going to start. I figured he'd get. I figured he would get minutes in the first quarter with OG Anunoby being announced out late. It just made the bet even better because he did start. But basically, we're betting on, is Landry Shamet going to shoot and make 1-3 in the first quarter of a basketball game? We know Landry Shamet, especially with Deuce McBride out, is our most aggressive three-point shooter. So I figured he would get up at least 3 in the first quarter and make 1. So for a guy who's shooting over 33% from the field, from 3, I should say, if he's going to get the ball up, I like it. And I like quick bets too, where we know that it's done within 12 minutes, so we don't have to worry about it. So, and then when he got it done in the first 3-4 minutes, I was like, perfect, no sweat. This is awesome. So yeah, that was my thought process. He's going to get the ball up, and all we needed was 1-3 made.
Exactly. Great bet. I tailed this bet. And then you're thinking also, my thinking for my best bet yesterday was Karl-Anthony Towns over 12.5 rebounds was, no Mitch Robinson, right? But I got a little lucky here because this bet hit so the rebound the rebound and the putback where he got fouled to tie the game, that was rebound number 12. So for multiple reasons, I wanted Cat to hit those free throws. Now, I also tailed our last bet, which was Jonathan's Knicks minus 3.5 in the first quarter. I actually bet Knicks minus 4.5 in the first quarter because it was plus money. I think it was like plus 115. Thinking, all right, Knicks come out, take care of business. They'll have a nice solid 5-point lead going into the second quarter. Alas, we could not be that lucky. So, c'est la vie. All right. So that's how we did for best bets. Oh, one other thing. Shout out to Jeff who had a 10-point night last night in bet sweating, and including a home run bet of Landry Shamet to hit at least 4 threes. And let me tell you something. This he had 3 threes in the first half. Talking about like a quick, what are you talking about? You want like quick bet in and out? 3 threes in the first half. I'm like, all right, we're Gucci here, and roar. And then, funny enough, if the 3 that he hit in overtime, the pace is being sloppy and getting ready to go to Tao, they were like, that was his 4th 3. If he had hit the 3 at the end of regulation, that would have cashed the bet. For 2 bets I made, I got lucky. And you know what? We're gonna celebrate if we're gonna obsess over the bad beats, we can talk about the time it happens in our favor. All right. Let's get to best bet scoreboard. Again, I'm creeping up. I was 400. Now I'm getting closer and closer to 500. Mensa still kicking ass and first of 19 wins. 576 winning percentage, followed by Jeff, Andrew, Shawn, and Jeff, Andrew, and myself. So again, we're all at or above 500 except for me, and I had 1 game under 500. So again, if you bet with us every week, every game, you'd be making money. And then the betting and sweating scoreboard, again, Jeff had a 10.9. Oh, supposed to update this. My fault. No, I didn't. I did update this. Andrew is in the lead with 90. I'm 88. So we right now, since Jeff went last night, we have Jonathan. Then we have 3 more people in this betting cycle. John is up tonight, followed by Mensa and then myself. So again, if you're just betting with us, you're making money. Simple as that. And if you're watching this and you don't like making money, let me hold $20. All right. So let's get to the recap of the week. All right. Knicks money line the last week. So the last 5 games, starting the game against not Detroit, Denver. Let me double check this. Yeah, starting with the game against Washington, actually, where they got destroyed. So 3-2 last week, 35-20 overall, 5th, they're the best in the NBA. Against the spread, also 3-2, 30-25, 11th in the NBA, and 3-2 on the 3-2 over under, 24-26 overall. So that tells me that they can find ways to win games when they outscore people, because they're 34-20, which means 40 wins before 20 losses went down the drain. And it went down the drain because the Knicks decided to hate each other and be mean girls for a week and a half. But whatever. Mensa, any thoughts on the Knicks betting performance these last 7 days?
Well, it seems like they've gotten their act together. We should have expected last night because they were a few points away, maybe I think they were a decimal point away from being a top 10 defense. So of course they give up 137 points against the Indiana Pacers. So, but other than that, I'm happy with the way the Knicks are playing. Most recently, I think that the way they've been performing is who we know them to be. They are a lot closer to this team that has won, I think, 9 of its last 11 versus the team that was on a 2-9 stretch or whatever it was so far in the past. I don't remember what it is. But basically, the way the Knicks are playing, they are becoming the sure money that they should have been throughout the entire season. But look, January is rough. And even if you're down on the Knicks for losing last night, I would like to point out that last week, the Detroit Pistons, number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, lost to the Washington Wizards on the first night of a back-to-back, and then they beat the pants off of us second night of it, even though we weren't all healthy. But basically, I'm just saying that to say that these things happen. This is the NBA. It's a long season. Your team is not going to be 100% of itself for all 82 games. You just want them to be 100% of themselves for all 16 of their eventual playoff wins. Hopefully, we are lucky enough to watch the Knicks win 16 playoff games this year. But yeah, I'm feeling good about the Knicks the way I always am, even when the Knicks were playing poorly. As far as their betting performance, hitting the money line, making sure that the money line is cool and everything, but we really want to beat the spread, because when you're playing teams like Indiana and it's a 12-point spread, or you're playing teams like Washington, the money line isn't going to do anything for you. So we want to be sure that this team is performing. Well, we would hope that this team would be performing well against the spread. And 11th in the NBA is okay, not bad, especially considering how often they are favored. So yeah, I'm happy with the way the Knicks are playing, especially over the last week.
Well said. Good point. Good call about how this is a reflection of how often the Knicks are favored. Unfortunately, the Knicks will not be favored tonight at the Wells Fargo Garden, aka Xfinity Mobile Arena, against the 76ers. They are 2-point underdogs. Actually, I should double check to see if that number has changed. I don't believe it has, but I'll just double check. Because I just last night. Oh, now the Knicks are 2.5-point underdogs. So the lines moved a half a point overnight. Whatever, 2 and 2.5 doesn't really make a difference. Money line is now plus 115, and the over/under has stayed the same at 222 points. Knicks on the road this season, 12-13 has been no surprise. The Knicks have not been good on the road. Imagine if they are slightly above. Well, I'll say this: usually you want to win 2/3 of your games on the road, half your games, 2/3 of your home games, and around half of your home games. You want to go 500 on the road, and the Knicks have made strides on the road in their road games, which is why it's a long season. People now against the spread, 9-16, which to your point, Mensa, the Knicks are favored a lot, so they've been favored a lot of these road games, and then they have threw up on themselves. The game against Sacramento, the game in Dallas, the game in Indiana, they've been shaky on the road. And even though we call it affection Wells Garden, this is a road game. And 11-14 to the over. Against the spread, 5-5 is an underdog, 4-5 away underdog, 8-11 after a loss. Again, they lost last night to Indiana, 137-134. 5-5 with a rest advantage, because for the third time in their 4 meetings this season, the Knicks will be playing the Sixers on the second night of a back-to-back, and the Sixers will have a rest advantage at 19-17 versus the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, the Sixers at home, 15-13, 13-15 against the spread, 15-13 to the over. Deep dive into against the spread numbers. 17-13 is a favorite. 8-11 is a home favorite. Interesting. 16-6 after a loss. They actually lost 135-118 on Sunday night in Portland. Monday night. And 10-5 for the rest advantage because again they had one day off compared to the Knicks being the second night of a back-to-back and their third win and their third game in 4 nights. So what are you looking at to bet in tonight's game?
So for tonight, what I'm looking at is what I like to call Mitchell Robinson's music. This is a Philadelphia 76ers team that is bottom 10 in giving up offensive rebounds. I believe they give up 12 a game. So you can count on Mitchell Robinson and get 8 of those for the Knicks. And then they're also a bottom 10 team in assists allowed. So one thing we know about Mitchell Robinson offensive rebounds, what makes them so special is that they often lead to a made 3-pointer for the New York Knicks. So I don't think the lines are out now, but I would be looking at doing a Mitchell Robinson rebound and assist parlay. If you can get 2 or 3, because he doesn't get many a game, if you can get 2 or 3 assists from Mitchell Robinson at plus money and then parlay that with 8 or 9 rebounds just to get in, I think you can get some really good numbers there. But I do expect Mitchell Robinson, who is going to be well rested because he did not play against the Indiana Pacers, to come out gangbusters. And then another thing, especially with where Karl Anthony Towns' foul trouble has been, I think he's fouled out more than any active basketball player in the NBA. He fouled out last night against Joel Embiid, who might be playing tonight. I'm not too sure. I haven't checked in. He does not change his approach, which means that he might get into foul trouble early. So if he gets into foul trouble early, that means more time for Mitchell Robinson to get those rebounds and get those assists. So I like Mitchell Robinson tonight from a player prop standpoint.
So Mitchell Robinson assists, our friends at FANATICS Sportsbook had it up. Over half an assist, so basically one assist is minus 125. I actually think that's worth it. To the point, this guy off his rebound, he looks at the corner, dishes out. We all remember the Steph Curry walk away after he got the rebound and dished it to Landry Shamet against Denver, I believe. So that's a good that is a good bet. And as for rebound, let's see if his rebound numbers are up. So it's over 8.5 is minus 105. Over 9.5, so 10 rebounds is plus 135. I've been saying this for the longest. If they give you, if every time Mitchell Robinson 10 plus rebounds is plus money, take it. If 9 plus rebounds is like 105, 110, just take it every single time. Because what I look for, Mitch is, I don't think there's anyone in the league who gets 2 offensive rebounds on 1 possession more than Mitchell Robinson. Like shot miss, Mitch rebound. Shot miss, Mitch rebound. I've seen him get 3 rebounds in a possession before. And that's what really, unfortunately, I wish there was a way to track it. That's what really gets him over the top. Or 1-2 plays where he just gets multiple rebounds on a play, especially obviously offensive. That will be it. So that's a good call out, Mensa. That's something I'm going to be looking at to bet tonight. As for me, so again, the Knicks are coming off a back-to-back. As I said, they are 5-5 when they have the rest disadvantage. But interestingly enough, the Knicks are pretty – scoring doesn't seem to be their issue, even on a back-to-back. So I'm looking at scoring. The Knicks have played 8 back-to-backs. The Knicks have played 8 back-to-backs this season, and even though they are 3-5 against the spread on a back-to-back, they average 117 points per game on back-to-backs. And tonight, the line is 100, and the Knicks total is 110. I'm just going to double check, but the last I looked about a half hour ago, it was 110. Over 110.5 is minus 115. Over 111.5 is minus 105. Over 112.5 is plus 115. They've had no problem scoring against this team this year. So I would honestly I will bet at plus money. So again, the lowest number of plus money is over 112.5 points at plus 115. That's what I'll bet. In fact, I'm pretty sure that might be my betting and sweating bet for tonight. On my KFS best bet for tonight, because now defense, that's another story altogether. I don't know because they've played them and they gave up. I believe they gave up. Let me look this up here. I believe they gave up 130. So yes, they've scored. So this season against they allowed 116 to the Sixers. They allowed 116, 130, then 109. But that 109 was in that third game where the Knicks actually had a rest advantage, and the Sixers went crazy in the fourth quarter because the Knicks were there. That's what I'm looking for that's what I'm looking for tonight. Knicks scoring in back-to-backs. All right. Now, so let's play our favorite game. And it's my favorite game. I can't speak for you. So let me not put words in your mouth. All right. This was, I don't know why this comes out like that. I'll fix that later. This Knicks team futures last week. Knicks were 1,500 to win the title. Which is fifth best odds. They are second best odds to win the East at plus 360 behind Detroit, who was plus 350. Winning the Atlantic Division, they were the favorites at minus 115, followed by Boston at minus 120. And over on win last week, they were minus 300 to win 50, and they were plus 455. Mensa, where do you think the Knicks what ranking do you think the Knicks are in title odds and East and to win the East?
So for title odds, I would assume they're probably still in the top 5. I think 4 is quite comfortable for them. I'd be interesting to see where Detroit's odds have gone, considering their dancehall artist got into a fight with Charlotte's rapper, which is like crazy that a dancehall artist and a rapper got into a fight, and the Vibe Awards haven't been a thing since like 2006. But yeah, I would put them in the top 5 there. Let's see. To win the East, they got to be the favorite by now. I'm sorry. I don't know. We just lost to Detroit, so maybe not. So I would probably still around that 350 plus 300 range. To win the Atlantic Division, I want to say that they are still in first place. I don't think anybody's buying Boston too heavy these days. So yeah, that's where I would have them. So for NBA champion, I would say these numbers remain static.
Okay. So to win the Atlantic Division, you're right. The Knicks are still first. They're actually minus 110 now. The Knicks are still second to win the East, and they are still fourth to win the title. Now, however, one team that was behind them in both categories is now in front of them in both categories. Would you like to guess what team that is?
San Antonio?
Well, Antonio cannot win the Eastern Conference, so they can't be in front of them.
Wait, no, there's no way Boston's Cleveland. Probably Cleveland with the James Harden acquisition.
Bingo! Cleveland is now favored to win the East at plus 300, and they are now second favorite to win the title at 1,200 against over the New York Knicks, or plus 1,300. So I'll read them off for those listening on the podcast. The plus 125, Denver plus 550, Cleveland 12-1, Knicks 13-1, Detroit 14-1, Boston 15-1, San Antonio 15-1. When the East, Cleveland is 3-1, Knicks plus 330, Detroit plus 340, Boston plus 380, Philly 11-1, Orlando. Remember them 20. Hello, Charlotte. Charlotte should be 25-1, not 20-1. But welcome, people. If you're now going to bet the Cleveland Cavaliers to win the playoff series because they traded for James Harden, please let me book that bet. Or Mensa. Mensa is a kiss a feed, right?
I just don't understand how we've seen James Harden in the NBA, who I have been more pro James Harden historically than a lot of other people, but he's been in the NBA since 2009. For us to see him melt down again and again and again, the acquisition of him should not make your odds any better. I just don't. That is a gross overreaction. If you think that, hey, Cleveland's going to get to the NBA Finals now because they have maybe the greatest choke artist in modern basketball of the last 25 years, then hey, like Shawn said, we will take that for you. We will take that. But I mean, come on, guys, let's be realistic. No, it's not happening. It's just not happening.
Look, man. As we say all the time that these odds, especially futures and awards, are very reactive. They're very reactive. I don't know what to do. I don't listen. If you don't want to believe in the Knicks, fine. But Detroit, like, you want to believe in Detroit? Like, honestly, this is value for Detroit. This is value for Boston. This is value for Philly. I would pick all those teams before I would pick Cleveland. I'm sorry. Like, and then to win the title, look, man. Look, listen. Can something change with James Harden? Sure. Am I going to bet my hard-earned money on it? Absolutely not.
In what year? 18? Come on, guys. Like, let's.
Yeah. So, like, what is it? What's the saying? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Just believe them. Just believe them. And then finally, really quickly, over under. Now it was minus 300 for 49.5. Now it's minus 900. You did lose some value on over 54.5 win. The win 55 games. It was plus 400 last week. Now it's plus 220. I don't think you'll see this number this high for much longer. So listen. This team won 8 in a row. I think there's a chance they can win another 8 in a row. Although it's going to require having OG Anunoby in the lineup. Shout out to him and his right toe, his big toe. Gonna need Mitch in the lineup. You know, what's the name is a huge loss. Deuce was probably to the regular season. That's a loss. Hopefully GTA can pick up some of the slack, although his Garden debut left something to be desired. But I'm still confident in this team to win 55 games. I've never wavered in it all year. But yeah, Cleveland, come on, get out of here, please. All right. That's it for today. So, Mensa, any final words before we get out of here?
So we're getting ready to get through the All-Star break. That's going to be a really good time for this New York Knicks team to recalibrate it. I know we took January pretty hard around these parts. I would say that this post-All-Star break stretch will let us know a little more about the New York Knicks than January did, because right now teams are playing for positioning. With the Detroit Pistons having a few suspensions, I suspect that Jalen Duren will also get suspended. This is prime opportunity for the New York Knicks to catch up in the standings, to catch up to the Detroit Pistons in the standings. So if you wanted to look at futures odds to win the most regular season games, maybe the Knicks might present some good value if that market is still available. But this is a time where the Knicks should be locking in and figuring out, hey, we can go out, we can get the number one seed. It's still within reach. 5-6 games is not insurmountable this time of year. So let's see what the Knicks do coming out of the All-Star break. And if they come out the way that they should come out, if Jalen Brunson decides not to take everything on himself, I'm still upset at him for what he did last night in the fourth quarter and overtime. If, Karl Anthony Towns and everybody can get their act together, this New York Knicks team should be the team that we expect them to be, which is the best in the Eastern Conference. Hopefully the record will show out. But this All-Star from post All-Star break to let's say April Fools, that's going to be really crunch time for the New York Knicks. So hopefully we get some good competitive basketball and they can catch up in the standings.
Yeah, and they're gonna have some tough games ahead of them. But you know what? It is what it is. This is the life you chose. So, and if the Knicks don't finish where they want to finish in the regular season, that's because they can just look back at that 2-9 stretch where again they decide to be mean girls and flush down the drain. I thought if they had any chance to get into 1 seed, they needed to beat Detroit. Clearly, they did not beat Detroit. With that said, now as you said, Mensa, with these suspensions, I think Jalen Duren is going to miss at least 3 games. I think Beef Stew, he's going to be gone at least 6, maybe 10. So specifically, I'll tell you like this: when the Knicks play them on the 19th of February, neither of them are going to be there. So if they have any chance to get the 1 seed and make it up, it starts. Well, I'll say it starts tonight, But and listen, maybe they beat Philadelphia, and you know something? If they had beat Indiana and lost to Philly in a back-to-back, as annoying as it would have been to lose to Philly again, you would have taken it. It would have been understandable. So now, if it's in reverse and get a win, all right, going to the All-Star break. If they have any chance, they need to beat Detroit on Thursday, the 19th of February, because after that, this is the Knicks stretch. So you said from now until like April 1st, this is who we have: Detroit, Houston, at Chicago, at Cleveland, at Milwaukee, San Antonio, at Toronto, Oklahoma City, at Denver, at the Lakers, at the Clippers, at Utah, at Indiana, which will be the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm taking Indiana to cover that game. Golden State, Indiana, at Brooklyn, Washington, New Orleans, at Charlotte, who is not a pushover anymore, folks, at Oklahoma City, at Houston. So, yes, there's you got a Washington in there, you got a Brooklyn in there, but other than that, you got Milwaukee in there. Other than that, there's a lot of good teams in there. Got a West Coast trip in there. So, listen, we know this team has the ability to beat anybody. So, let's see if they actually come to play. And if they do that, it'll help us make a lot of money, because we don't like to necessarily fade in the Knicks, but we will if they're on BS. So, thank you, Mensa. Appreciate you always being here. And thanks to you all for showing up. If you like what you're listening to and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the Knicks Film School Podcast. We're available on all podcast platforms. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 stars. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you'll know when we go live for shows like this one, the weekly recap with John and Jeremy, X's and O's with Benji and DJ, KFS After School with myself and Jeff J, Cream, Cap Rules Everything Around Me with Jeremy, Dream, Draft Rules Everything Around Me with Chris Persianen, and, of course, the post-game live streams after every Knicks game. You can follow us on all socials at Knicks Film School. That's Knicks Film, SKOOL. We're available on all social media. And if you want more bonus Knicks content, you can subscribe to our Substack newsletter written by John Macri, hitting your email box 5 days a week. Or you can become a patron by signing up for the KFS Patreon, where you will get all of our episodes ad-free, as well as bonus episodes, Benji's great book, DJ's X's and O's session. And last but not least, I want to send my heartfelt condolences to Benji and his family, as John announced yesterday, and as Benji announced yesterday on Twitter. Benji lost his mom after a 3-year battle of breast cancer. So I'm going to say this: 1, fuck cancer. 2, if you're lucky enough to have your mom in your life, give your mom a call. If you live in the same city, give her a hug. Life is too short. I can only imagine what she's going through. So I'm pretty sure I speak for everyone here. Our heart goes out to you. Our thoughts and prayers go out to you. Our deepest condolences go out to you. Ben is one of the best people I've ever met. So I can only imagine what he's going through right now. I don't want to say real quickly.
Yeah, no, definitely. I lost my dad in 24. Yeah, I lost my dad in August 24, and I didn't have the best relationship with him. But losing a parent is never easy. I can only imagine what Benji is going through. I'm lucky enough to still have my mom. I know me and Benji are around the same age. I think he's like born in 92. I'm born in 94. But this is around the time in our lives where, the generation ahead of us starts fading out. So it's difficult. It's something that you can't prepare for. So like you said, if you are lucky enough to still have a parent in your life, cherish that parent, because someday you won't. And that's the goal in life, though, is what I will say, is you want to outlive your parents, right? So it is a blessing to be able to, take care of your parents' affairs and to send them off the right way. It is also very heavy emotional work. So, reach out to anybody who is, suffering in this time, if they lost a parent or something. I know I'm going to personally reach out to Benji. I haven't done so quite yet, but yeah, it just always brings us back to, the the things that are more important than sports, the things that are more important than this thing that brings us together, which is the New York Knicks that we love, because, you know, we all live real lives. And I encourage everybody to, you know, really cherish every moment you have with the people around you, because one day it could all be over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To your point, like, the goal is to outlive your parents. Like, I'm supposed to outlive my parents. Zach is supposed to outlive me. That's just the circle. That is the, if you have to end it, that's how it should be. But again, that doesn't make it any easier to deal with. And again, I can only imagine. So, Benji, we love you. You know, take as much time as you need. And peace and blessings to you and your family. For Mensa, I'm Shawn for W. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Knicks Nation, let's ride. If you're out in your fight tonight, do it right.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See the Fanatics Sportsbook app.